This your boy D Knows Ball back with another video. Say, man, I got three major questions for the Orlando Magic after having a terrible season. Now, let's just give some context to this. Last year Orlando Magic lost 7 games to the Cleveland Cavaliers, was looking like the best team in the league this year. I thought they was on the upward trajectory. I thought the Orlando Magic had action to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals. And at the beginning of the year, it looked like they was on pace. I think they was a top 3 seed for the East for like a good portion of that beginning of the year. Paolo was looking like an All NBA player. Franz was looking like a great second option. Jalen Suggs was looking like he's gonna be on pace to be on another All Defensive team. Then Paolo went down. Franz Wagner stepped up, and he started looking like an All NBA guy. Then Franz Wagner went down. Then Jalen Suggs stepped up, and he started looking like a major piece to a championship level team. And then he went down. Paolo came back. Franz came back. Mo Wagner went down, and they just couldn't get it together. You would think with Paolo and Franz, they would be better than the Paolo list and Franz list, Jalen Suggs led Magic team. But I think we're learning that Jalen Suggs is a big part of what they do, and they can't stop a nosebleed without him. Now, I'm making this video simply because the Magic have lost to the Bulls. They done lost to the Raptors twice. They just lost to the Rockets. And I just want to know where they go for here. So I do have 3 questions. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? It really helps out a lot. But let's just look at some of these things for the Orlando Magic. Question number 1. Are Paolo and Franz good enough both individually and as a duo? Let's start with Paolo. I think Paolo was supposed to be a top 15 player this season after his rookie of the year campaign and his second year being an all-star. I thought year 3 he was going to make that leap into the all NBA. He had a great playoffs last year in 7 games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was the only one really who showed up, and I thought he was going to steady this momentum, keep the momentum going. And at the beginning of the season he did. But now Paolo has kind of fallen off a little bit in terms of his efficiency. Now, I still think he could be a top 15 player, so I'm not too worried about him. I think they need more spacing. Um, Franz, on the other hand, I feel the same way, but I think if he can't consistently shoot, I don't know how the Paolo Franz duo works. One of these guys is going to have to be a 36 to 38% 3-point shooter. I think Franz Wagner profiles as it should be the better shooter than Paolo, but I don't see how this duo works together if neither one of them can crack the 36 to 38% 3. But individually, I still think Paolo could be a top 15 player. I think Franz Wagner could be an all-star level player. Individually, as a duo, it still remains to be seen because they both get their numbers, but it's like it's not contributing to winning just yet. And I don't know if it's the most cohesive fit. Like I said, and it's mainly due to the shooting. So that's my first question. How good is Paolo and Franz individually and as a duo individually? I still think Paolo is an all NBA level player. And I still think Franz Wagner is an all-star level player. As a duo is where the question come in because I need one of those guys to step up as far as shooting. Question number 2 I had is Jamal Mosley the coach to get them over the top? I said this because I don't know if the Orlando Magic are quitting on Jamal Mosley. Y'all let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm tripping, but they've been struggling with turnovers and giving up offensive rebounds. I think turnovers are an attention to detail thing. I think they are a laziness thing. I think offensive rebounds are an effort thing, and these are things that could all be controlled. And I don't know if Jamal Mosley is getting the most out of these Orlando Magic players anymore. And so you know how NBA players get. You know what I'm saying? When stuff stop working, people just go blame the coach and they'll get the coach up out of here and let another coach come in and take credit for their success. So I don't know if that's going on with Jamal Mosley. I don't know the temperature. Just like with JB Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff did good in Cleveland, but I guess they just got tired of hearing from him. And it could be the same thing happening in Orlando. I think Jamal Mosley is a good coach. But is he going to consistently get the feedback that he needs from his players, or they gonna continue to play for him. And it looks like they're kind of quitting on him just from outside looking in. But then I could be tripping, and it could just be Jalen Suggs is just that important. My third question: who are the role players on the chopping block? Because they need more shooting around Paolo and Franz and Jalen Suggs. These dudes can't shoot, bro. The Orlando Magic are one of the worst shooting teams in the NBA, and they is like playing. They shoot like a dead ball era early 2000s team. They just keep it a buck. They can't shoot. The Orlando Magic can't shoot. Top to bottom, they can't shoot. Corey Joseph is their best shooter, and he don't play. That's a bad sign. KCP fell off the map. He's been pretty good recently from three, but there's nobody on the Orlando Magic you trust to make a shot. Nobody. So who do you keep? I think the only untouchables are Paolo, Franz, and Suggs. Anybody else could go. I think Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac have the two most valuable assets the Orlando Magic have in terms of players, because Anthony Black has that jumbo creator, offensive point guard, defensive point guard type of role that somebody could find valuable. Jonathan Isaac is just a Swiss Army knife, great defender that a contending team possibly could use, and he has value. Mo Wagner, I low-key would keep Mo Wagner, Cole Anthony. I want to see more from Jett Howard. Who's on the chopping block? Who should the Orlando Magic get rid of? Who should be on the trade block? Who could they bring in? Now, it's some guys that I would like to see the Orlando Magic add. Like a guy like a Moses Moody would fit perfect. You missed out on Malik Beasley and you picked up KCP instead. Just imagine Orlando Magic with Malik Beasley. So I think a guy like Moses Moody, who's shooting 38% from three this year, and he looks good, the more his minutes go up. Corey Kispert from the Wizards, even though he's 26 years old, I think he will slide in perfect. He's a career like 38% three-point shooter, and he's overall just an efficient player. I think 48% from the field. I was thinking of maybe a Colin Sexton. He will be because he's a career 38% three-point shooter, and he's another guy that can go get his own bucket. And I think him and Jalen Suggs will make a solid backcourt. So it's like, I think they definitely have to add shooting, off-ball shooting. A guy who can score off the ball, who can capitalize off the gravity of Paolo and Franz from an off-ball shooting perspective. So that's my third question. What role players on the chopping block and who can you add? I like Moses Moody, Corey Kispert, Colin Sexton. Those are some of the guys I like. Maybe you could look into it like a Jordan Hawkins, a guy like that, something like that. Now, I did want to say this because draft, the Magic have 2 picks in the first round. I think one is currently like 17, one's currently 25. I think if they were targeting players in the draft, I'm looking at a guy like Liam McNeely or Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson preferably. Trey Johnson, I think his draft stock has risen, but at one point I think it was like 12. So if the Orlando Magic had the 17th and the 25th pick, I would probably package something, both of those picks, and to try to get Trey Johnson, move up and draft Trey Johnson. If they don't go after Moody, Colin Sexton, or a guy like that, or Kispert, but they need to add shooter. So you got to figure out which role players you want to keep, which ones on a chopping block, and you got to start bringing in some shooting, man. This is one of the worst teams in the league in terms of shooting, pretty much for the entirety of Paolo and Franz's career with the Magic. They need more shooting around them. So those are my 3 questions. How good? Question number 1: are Paolo and Franz good enough both individually and as a duo? 2: is Jamal Mosley the coach to get them over the top? And 3: which role players are on the chopping block and some potential, and who are you going to add in terms of shooting? So those are my 3 questions for the Orlando Magic after this terrible season. Y'all let me know in the comments what should the Orlando Magic do. But this is what did know about. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on socials. Let me know y'all thoughts on Orlando Magic. But I'm out.
found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I would never quit.